I will be doing a quick tank review for the Japanese Tier 3 medium tank, the Type 97 Chiha. This review I will be comparing the Chinese Chiha and the Japanese Chiha, as both of these tanks are the same tank but different at the same time. Let's get to the stats of the Chiha now. The Chiha, when it is fully upgraded, the paper stat for it is just average. It is not good nor bad. The Chinese Chiha stats are the exact same almost. Let me open up the Chinese Chiha and the Japanese Chiha. To begin off, the difference between these two is the way how you would research the Chiha, the paint color, and the flag. The Japanese Chiha, it is a medium tank. The Chinese one, it is technically a medium tank, but for the Chinese purposes, it is classified as a light. When the vehicle it is fully upgraded, you will have 240 hit points. The maximum load limit will be 18 tons. The tank, when it is fully researched and have all of the best equipment on the vehicle, you will have the tank weigh about 16 tons. The Japanese Chiha, it just weighs a little bit more due to the modules I have equipped on it. The top engine will be 240 hit points. The engine will have a 15% engine fire. Most of the time, if you are going to be killed, you will be killed by enemy fire from enemy shells, not by engine fires. Having a fire extinguisher is not a bad idea to put the fire out, but at Tier 3 it doesn't really matter. Before I continue onward, the Chiha, as it is a Tier 3 vehicle, you can keep it or sell it if you want to. The horsepower, the 240 horsepower engine, with the top one, you will have a better horsepower to ton ratio. The only problem with the top engine you will have problem going over rough terrain and over hills, but that is a reasonable problem that you will have across all of the low-tier Japanese medium tanks. The top speed for both of the vehicles, it is 40 kilometers. My horsepower to ton ratio for both of the Chiha, they are about 14.9 horsepower to 1 ton. That is okay. You can get from location A to location B quickly enough. The whole traverse, it is 32 degrees for both of them. The hull and turret armor, it is rubbish. Every single gun will pen you with these and most likely do their full amount of damage. So it's very important that you sit back and use cover to protect you as much as possible. Both of them have the same armor for the turret and hull. Hull armor 25 in the front side. Rear armor it is 20. The turret armor it is 35 in the front, 25 to the side and rear. The weak areas of the Chiha is the same as the Chihi and the rest of the Japanese tanks. Lower plate, the hatch doors on the front of the hull, machine gun port, driver hatch, cupola, and etc. Also, I would like to point out the crew and the crew and the modules can be knocked out easily. So having a first aid kit and a repair kit, it is recommended to get them back into action. The gun penetration and damage, it is mediocre when you have the top gun equipped. The one problem I had with the top gun is when I faced heavily armored tanks at tier 4 and 5, I have problem penetrating them if I do not aim at weak areas or use a premium ammo to shoot at the tank. The gun depression, it is very good for the Chiha. It is -9 degrees downward. That is close to being -10 degrees downward, like all Japanese tanks are. The gun elevation upward, it is 20 degrees upwards. The rate of fire is quite good, 20 rounds per a minute. With a good crew, modules, and etc., you can have, in theory, more than 20 rounds per a minute. The turret traverse, it is bad. It could be better, it could be worse, just like the hull traverse. The turret traverse, it is 30 degrees. It could be better, it could be worse. The maximum view range for both of the tanks, it is 330 meters. The top radio range that you can have, it is 550 meters. When it comes to paper stats and how they play, both of these Chihas are pretty much the exact same, except for a few minor differences that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Let's get to the research of the Chiha now. The research for the Chiha, it is straightforward for both of them. There is very little research that you have to do to get to the next tank. If I remember the Chinese one, you just have to only research the turret and then you can have the M5A1. The Japanese one, it is sort of the same case. If you just want to go through the Chiha as fast as possible and begin the research on the Chihi, you just have to research the top turret and the 47 millimeter gun. Researching the rest of the modules, it is not needed, but having all of the equipment research will help with the grinding for the lights and the future mediums as well, up to tier 5. It is okay to use the 57mm gun to get the needed EXP for the 47mm gun and the top turret. I would recommend to research all of the equipment because you're going to be using it on the lights and the medium tanks up to tier 5, the tracks. The base tracks are you going to have, it is the it is okay to use this. You have 16 tons to work with 30 degrees of hull traverse. The upgraded tracks just give you slightly more durable tracks with a increased load limit of 18 tons with 32 degrees for the top tracks. You don't really need to get the top tracks unless if you want to mount all of the equipment. The base engine, you will have 170 horsepower engine with a 15% of it being set on fire. The 15% of engine fire, it is the same across all of the engines. I would recommend that you get the two engine upgrades, the 200 horsepower engine and the 240, because you are going to be using it on the Chi-He and the Chi-Nu. With the stock engine, you're going to have a lower horsepower to ton ratio. With the 200 and the 240 horsepower engine, you will have a slight better horsepower to ton ratio. Also, these two engines will make the tank go a little bit more faster. Even with the top engine, you will have problems going over rough terrain and climbing hills. The radials, the Type 94 and the Type 96 radio, you will have them researched already on the other Japanese tanks so far. The only one that you have to research, it is the Type 3 Otsu radio. This radio will give you a 550 meter radio range. You will be using this radio on a wide selection of vehicles, from Tier 3 up to Tier 7. You might as well get the radio now because you're going to be using it from Tier 3 to Tier 7. Every little bit of grinding in the lower tier for researching equipment will help with future research of other vehicles. The two turrets, they're the exact same. The only difference between these two is the increased hit points, increased view range, and the turret design. The upgraded turret, the Shinhoto, I probably just pronounced that wrong. You can mount the 47mm gun. The 57mm gun, this is pretty much a dirt gun that you will be using on this tank. It is used on the Chi-Ni, if I remember, and the Hago. This is a okay gun to use to get the needed research points for the top gun and the top turret. The 37mm gun, the Type 100 and the Type 1, they have the exact same stats. The Type 1 have a slight better paper stats over the Type 100, as shown here. The two guns that you can use before you get the top turret and the top gun are the 57mm and the 37mm. It is up to you which gun you want to use. The 57mm, you have more damage, less pen, not as accurate, but you do more damage across the board. The 57mm is more of a middle to frontline support gun, which you will have problems facing and penetrating tier 4s and 5s unless if you know where you are shooting at. The 37mm gun, This is a okay gun to use if you're planning to sit in the back and act as a support tank. You do have more pen, but you do lose out on the damage though. You do gain a more accurate gun with a faster aiming time. Both the 57 millimeter and the 37 millimeter gun, you will have problems if you use either of them when it comes to facing tier 4 and 5s. It is very important that you know where to shoot at and aim at weak areas of the tank. Use either of them to get the top gun and the top turret. The 47mm gun. If I remember correctly, this 47mm gun, it was taken off a Japanese light anti-tank artillery piece and mounted onto the Chiha. This 47mm gun, you will have no problem penetrating every single vehicle up to tier 5. The only vehicles that will give you problem when it comes to penetrating them are certain tier 4s like the Matilda or any other heavily armored tier 4s. Tier 5s, you will be able to pen most of them except for certain heavily armored tier 5 such as the KV-1, the T1 Heavy, the AT2, and etc. Most tier 3 to tier 5 vehicles you're going to be facing, you will have no problem penetrating them. The 47mm gun is a very good gun to use once you have gotten used to it. It is less accurate than the 37mm Type 1 gun. When you have all of the needed equipment research, you can research the Chihi. I made a review on the Chihi already. You can just watch that if you want to learn about the Chihi. The Chihi, to research it, you will need 3,730 EXP and 136,000 credits. Let's cover the pros and the cons for the Chiha now. The pros and the cons for the Chiha are, as a tier 3 vehicle, you can get yourself into tier 4 and tier 5 max matches. The way how you would play the Chiha, you will be using this tank as a support tank, as a flanking tank, as a sniping tank, and also as a passive scout if you have it set it up as that role, as I do here. The good thing about the Chiha, determine how you have the tank set up, as you can switch between these four roles within a minute if you have to. What is the Chiha good at? You can fill many roles if you have to. This vehicle is a jack of all trades. You have very good view range. You can have better view range if you have perks and modules added on to increase the view range even more. The top gun, the 47mm gun, is a very good gun to use as it is mostly a accurate gun, and you can pen most vehicles except for certain tier 4 and 5s if you do not know where to shoot at. The Chiha, where it suffers. The tank agility, it is average. It is not that fast, even with the top engine equipped. The target, it is large, have a lot of weak areas. The crew and the modules can be damaged quickly. the tank is slow. The Chiha, as it is a Japanese tank, you have to get used to Japanese weaknesses. This vehicle cannot take much of a beating, so you can potentially die quickly from enemy guns if you're in the open, or if enemy guns are focused on you, you can die quickly that way. Most of the time, you're going to be killed by enemy fire, not by engine fire. Let's get to the consumables, modules, and the ammo layout for the Chiha now. The Chiha, how you are going to set this tank up. You are going to have a first aid kit to treat your injured crew members, a repair kit to repair module damage, a fire extinguisher to put out engine fires. At this tier, you can have the consumables equipped if you want to. The ammo layout, I went with all AP rounds. You can go with some HE rounds to reset cap or do damage to thinly armored vehicles. It is up to you if you want to use the premium ammo, which is just AP rounds. The regular AP and premium AP rounds, they have the same damage. The only difference between these two is that the premium ammo does more penetration. The pen for it is 92 to 153 millimeters. The premium rounds, you will have more than enough pen to pen most tier 5 and 4 heavies. The premium AP rounds, they may bounce off of certain tier 5 vehicles if the enemy tank know how to angle their armor quite well. If you do plan to purchase premium ammo, it will cost you 4 gold or 1,600 endgame credits. The modules that I have equipped, I have a camo net to increase my camo rating when I am playing as a passive scout for my team. The binocular telescopes, I have it equipped to see farther away, to just to spot enemy tanks, so my ally team members can shoot at them. The other module that you can use if you want to. The toolbox to repair your tank faster. The enhanced gun lane drive to decrease your aiming time even more. And the last module that you can equip if you want to, it is a ventilation class 2. The vents just increase the tank performance and the crew by 5%. I have some replays to show you how you can use the Chiha effectively. Let's get to them now. This replay I am showing you, I will be showing you how the Chiha, you can switch it between multiple roles when you have to in a match. This replay, if I remember correctly, I switched between being a front-line tank to a middle-line support vehicle as well. I am just looking around, seeing where the team is going. If you are playing at a front line or a middle line tank, you have to be very careful because you can be killed with ease. The 1C just spotted the BTSB. The BTSB have good armor. When it comes to the hull, the turret is okay if I remember it correctly. Looks like the RD damaged the BTSB or other tanks behind me did, and I got the last shot. There's a group of tanks down there. But now I am just going as a party from a distant way shooting at this tiny vehicle. When you're top tail, I know what you're doing. You can try to get a shot lined up to finish the tech truck, but they got into cover in time. I'm poking out just to. I got a lucky ricochet in the front of the hull there somehow. Yes, it was right around the hatch door in the front. Cool. That shot went through. Dead tanks in front of me as cover as well, just in case if the cruiser was shooting at me. I am looking to my VO and side to see what's going on now. I am doing good so far. I've gotten 3 kills. Me and the people in this area are going toward the base now. I missed my shot on the T-57. I got this cruiser kill. Looking at the map, seeing the PD3 and the AMX last known location, I went back in the general area where they were last seen. I stopped and and shoot at this B3A. I did not too bad in this replay. I did about 670 damage. If I got the T-57 kill there, I would have gotten a Top Gun as well. Let's go on to the next replay now. This replay, I will show you how you can use the Chiha as a frontline vehicle if you are going to play the Chiha as a very aggressive vehicle when you're top tier. This is the very few times that I ever played on Mittengard before. I am just sitting on the ridge here to spot any oncoming tanks. Seeing the gun depression, I tried moving backwards to see if I had better depression, but no. Seeing most of the vehicles are on the right side here, I am playing very carefully while I advance. Missed the shot on the medium. I'm being careful as I advance here, seeing the mortar to my right. That mortar, with its good wind from the gun, it could potentially give me a bad day if it hit the ammo rack for the tank or kill the crew. This Chiha, it got a hit on me. I am circling it and flanking it. I hit a place where my shell did damage. I moved out just in case if the M73 is aiming at me. I got 5 kills, just need 1 more for a Top Gun. Using the terrain here to cover my tank as much as possible. Seeing I have a Top Gun. Seeing no one is going after the Panzer Jaeger 1, I mean. I thought I had time to go into the city there to get the last kill. Knowing the T-26 is on the other side of the I have no idea if the Panzer Jaeger 1 was AFK or something. This replay I did quite well. With very little support I had in the one area. If I gotten one more kill, I think I would have gotten a medal for getting 8 kills or something. Anyway, this replay I did about 800 damage, which got me my Master Ace tanker in this tank, and I got a Top Gun as well. let's get to the garage now so I can do a brief recap on the Chiha. Let's do a brief recap on the Chiha. The Chiha, it is a average tier 3 medium tank that is not that good nor bad. The Chiha is a tank that you can keep it or sell it if you want to. When the Chiha it is fully upgraded and is used by the right person, it can be a very good tier 3 when it is used properly. The Chiha, once you have gotten used to the strengths and the weaknesses of the Chiha, it can be a very good vehicle if it used effectively. It is very important that you sit back and not take any hits at all, because just like all Japanese tanks, you cannot take hits whatsoever. Throughout my playthrough of the vehicle, I did pretty good in the Chiha, so I will keep it. You can keep it or sell it if you want to. I hope that you learn a thing or two about how to use the Chiha effectively. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone.